Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of my sports talk show series. So in today's video we're going to talk about the college football official rankings, Game 6 and Game 7 of the World Series, and then we're going to talk about baseballs, whether they are or are not juiced. I had that recommended to me in the comments section. So the college football rankings came out last night. As you know, Georgia topped off the rankings, followed by Bama, Notre Dame, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State, Penn State, and then TCU. Now, my rankings already. Yesterday I had Georgia, Alabama, Notre Dame, Ohio State, Clemson, OU, Wisconsin, Penn State as my top 8. I got the first 3 right. I had Clemson down 1 spot too many, and I had Oklahoma back 1 spot too many, and I had Ohio State up 2 spots too many, and I had Wisconsin in, and they're not even in the top 8. Now, I have no problem with Oklahoma being ahead of Ohio State because they did beat them head-to-head, so technically that makes them the better team in the College Football Playoff Committee's eyes. Now, I do not have a problem with Clemson being in the top 4 either, because their only loss was on the road at Syracuse, and they lost their starting quarterback early. If they had their starting quarterback throughout that whole game, I do believe Clemson would have beat them. They'd be undefeated right now, and they'd be fighting for the number 1 spot in the country. Now, one issue that I do have with the playoff committee going off head-to-head is Notre Dame doesn't have a conference. They are independent. They will not have a conference championship under their belt. And if you're going off head-to-head, Georgia beat Notre Dame. So if you go to the SEC championship game and Alabama beats Georgia and you want to keep Notre Dame in the playoffs, you also got to keep Georgia, and you got to keep Georgia ahead of Notre Dame, because Georgia will have 1 loss like Notre Dame. They won't have a conference championship like Notre Dame, and they beat them head-to-head. So that makes Georgia, in the College Football Playoff Committee's eyes, from what they showed me last night, that makes Georgia the better team. So Georgia would have to be 3, Notre Dame would have to be 4. And that's the only thing that I really have an issue with on the head-to-head rule. So Notre Dame is in a sticky spot where they are cheering for Georgia to win and beat Alabama, because if Georgia stays undefeated, they're not going anywhere. They beat Notre Dame, so they'll stay ahead of Notre Dame because they'll be undefeated. They'll be the number 1 overall seed. Notre Dame will stay, most likely they may jump up to a 2 seed if they win out, or they may go back to a 3 seed because Clemson may win a conference championship, so that would put them above Notre Dame in my eyes. And then if Ohio State comes out and they beat Wisconsin in the Big Ten championship game and are 12-1, I believe they will be one of the top 4 teams. So then that would exclude Oklahoma. I do not think Oklahoma's going to run the table. I do not think Oklahoma's going to get into the Big 12 championship game because they will not run the table. So therefore, a 2-loss Oklahoma team will be out. Ohio State will be able to jump them. And I believe only one SEC team can get in now of the rankings that I saw yesterday. Yesterday I did say that I thought 2 SEC teams could get in if Georgia was to lose to Alabama, but now that I see the head-to-head rankings where they would have to put Georgia above Notre Dame, and they wouldn't want to do that, I don't think 2 SEC teams will get in this year. So next we're going to talk about Game 6, happened last night. Verlander went 6 innings, 2 earned runs, 9 Ks. Hill went 4.2 innings, 1 earned run, and 5 Ks. A little bit about last night's game. People were saying the air was a little bit thicker. That's why you didn't see as many long balls go out last night. So one topic is, are the World Series balls slicker? I'll go into that a little bit more in the Juiced Baseballs or Not segment, which will come up later today. But just what I saw last night, I saw Verlander throw 4 baseballs away in the 6th inning. Twice, the 2 times I seen him throw baseballs away, he threw 2 away back-to-back. So he got the ball, looked at it, threw it away, got the ball, looked at it, and threw it away. He did that twice in the 6th inning from what I saw, and then Jansen threw 2 away, back-to-back, in the top of the 8th inning, which I think is a sign that the baseballs are a little bit different in the World Series. Now, I'll get into whether I think they're juiced later on, but I think they are a little bit slicker from what people are saying, and from what I saw last night, I do believe that to be true. So I like to think about the what-ifs that happened in the game last night. What if Corey Seager gets the ball, or he hits the ball out into right field instead of it being caught at the warning track by Reddick, and they only get 1 run? It would have, if that ball would have gotten out, it would have been 4-1. The game would have been broke wide open. I don't think the Astros would have had any chance to come back. Now, they didn't come back, but I think that would have just put the game on ice. You know, 6th inning, Astros would have had 9 outs to mess with to get back 3 runs. So, like I said earlier, the air was thick last night. Now, people are saying if the air was just a bit thinner, that ball gets out and it's 4-1. Now, on the top of the 7th, Bregman hits a ball to the warning track in right center field. Ball doesn't get out, it's caught at the warning track. Does the thick air affect it or not? That's, that I can't tell you that. But if he hits that home run out at the time of that game, it would have been 4-2 Astros. They would have had all the momentum. And I believe Verlander probably would have stayed in the game. Yeah, I think Verlander, since he pitched 6 innings, I think he would have stayed in the game, gone another inning. Unless I have that wrong, unless Bregman hit after they pinch hit for him anyway. I think he would have stayed in the game if he was eligible. If not, they would have had the reliever come in. So, and then last night, the Dodgers went to their bullpen quite early. They had got 4 1/3 inning out of their bullpen, which I think is a lot for a Game 6. Now, it was do or die for the Dodgers, seeing how they were down 3-2. And they went to Jansen and made him get 6 outs. I thought this would be big for the Dodgers, seeing how they're going to have Jansen come back and pitch Game 7 if they want to have him close it out. And if he has to go 2 long innings in Game 6, he's going to be a little tired. But he got out of the 8th inning with 7 pitches, and he had a quick 9th inning. I think Jansen will be ready for Game 7. I don't think he'll be able to get 6 outs again. So the deciding moment of the game for me was when Peterson hit a home run in the bottom of the 7th, made it 3-1, and then Jansen comes in the 8th. I think that's what really, put the game on ice was that home run, and they're bringing in Jansen. And one stat I saw was the Astros left 8 men on base, and they were 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Now, if they could have got 1 or 2 hits with runners in scoring position, I think they would have had a chance in this game. Now, I know one instance when they had 2nd and 3rd and no outs. I believe it was 2nd and 3rd or no outs, or either 1st and 2nd with no outs. You got to score. No outs. You got 2 men on. You got to score. And that was one of the big turning points, was the Dodgers able to get out of that. Dodgers left 4 on, 1 for 5 with runners in scoring position. So now, preview Game 7. We got the starting lineups. We got Houston starting Springer in center field, Bregman at 3rd, Altuve at 2nd, Correa at short, Gurriel at first base, McCann catching, Gonzalez in left, Reddick in right, and Lance McCullers Jr. on the hill for the Astros. Now for the Dodgers, we got Taylor in center field, Seager at short, Turner at 3rd, Bellinger at 1st, Puig in right, Peterson in left, Forsythe at 2nd base, Barnes behind the plate, and Yu Darvish pitching. My prediction for this game is the Astros win 7-3. I think they jump on Darvish early. I think they put up 3 or 4 runs before the 4th inning. Darvish gets pulled early again. The Dodgers have to rely heavily on their bullpen in Game 7. I think this will be a heartbreaking loss for a comeback. Now, I say it's a comeback with quotation marks because they were only down 3-2, but people are making it out to be a comeback. I guess it technically is. But also, Game 7, I believe the first sign of any pitcher, either team, regardless of the score, getting tired or struggling, they're going to go to their pen. This is a do or die. It's a must-win. Obviously, it's a must-win. And I wouldn't be surprised if we got to see Dallas Keuchel and Clayton Kershaw tonight pitch Game 7. I believe that the Astros will pitch Keuchel and the Dodgers will pitch Kershaw. I believe we will see both of them, seeing how they are their aces, and they need a win. I also think Kershaw may come in first relief, and then they will pitch Jansen to close. Now, on the Astros end, I don't think Keuchel will come in relief. I think he may come in to close the game out if they're winning. Or if they're losing, I think he'll come in to keep the damage, to limit the damage, keep the game close, keep it within striking distance, so the Astros will at least have a chance in Game 7. Now, what I was waiting to talk for all day, someone suggested I talk about baseballs, and people believe this year the baseballs are juiced because they're hitting more and more home runs. Now, over the past 10 seasons, I'm going to read you the stats. 2008, 4,878 home runs. 2009, 5,042 home runs. 2010, 4,613. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, all under 5,000. Now, 2016, we had 5,610 home runs. In 2017, we had a record-setting 6,105 home runs. Personally, I don't believe the balls are juiced in any way. I believe the players are getting better, they're getting stronger, they're getting more athletic, and you really have to give credit where credit's due. Giancarlo Stanton hit 60 home runs this year. Aaron Judge went on that massive streak where he just kept hitting home runs. I think, like I said, the players are getting better, they're getting stronger, they're getting more athletic. I don't believe the baseballs are juiced. I believe the players are just, they're just seeing the ball well and they're hitting the ball well. And the reason I don't think that they are juiced in any way is they've been producing the regular season baseballs the exact same way since 1998. So that's, if you haven't changed the ball in over almost 20 years, I don't think that they would change it up for just this 2017 season. Therefore, I don't think it's juiced, like I said. Now, the World Series has had an extraordinary number of home runs, and why I believe they have had that many home runs is the ball is a little bit slicker. Now, they said that they just changed the paint from blue to gold on the balls. However, they must have done something else to the baseballs to make them slicker. I don't think they juiced them. I think they made them slicker. Now, the reason I think that there's more home runs is the pitchers, if they have a ball that's slicker, they're having trouble locating their pitches because they don't get the release they would like. I think that causes more mistakes, leaving the ball in the zone where the hitters like it. They can take it yard. Now, I do have a few quotes lined up for pitchers believing in juiced baseballs and the slicker baseballs. Now, Kutchel post-game 2, he said, obviously the balls are juiced. I think 100% the balls are juiced. I don't agree with that. I believe that it's just they're slicker and they're not being able to locate as well as they normally would be, but, that's his opinion on it. Then we have Verlander saying, the World Series ball is slicker, no doubt. And Yu Darvish saying, I had trouble with the ball throwing a slider. It was slicker. I do believe that they are slicker because I've seen reports of both teams and both pitching coaches acknowledging that they both agree the ball is slicker in some way. So, just to recap, I don't believe the ball is juiced. I believe the players are getting better. They're getting stronger. You got to give credit where credit's due. World Series balls are indeed slicker from what I've seen because I believe if the ball was not as slick as people make it out to be, they'd be able to locate their sliders better, get more command on their sliders, and they'd be able to keep the ball away from a good hitting position for the hitter, which leads to less long balls. So just to recap the show, we went over the college football playoffs rankings. Georgia 1, Bama 2, Notre Dame 3, Clemson 4, OU 5, Ohio State 6, Penn State 7, TCU 8. Game 6 went to the Dodgers 3-1. No extra innings needed in this game. Verlander went 6 innings. Hill went 4 2/3. We got Game 7. Prediction for me is a win for the Astros, 7-3. We got McCullers Jr. versus Darvish on the mound with a chance of seeing Kutchel and Kershaw tonight. Juiced baseballs, I don't believe they are juiced. I believe the players are getting better and stronger, and the World Series balls are definitely thicker. All right, thank you for tuning in today's episode, and my schedule for uploading will probably after this week. I don't know if I'm going to upload Thursday. I probably will get a short video out recapping the World Series tomorrow. And then Friday, I probably won't have a video out unless something big happens in the sports world. And then from there on out, I'm going to start regularly uploading every Tuesday and every Thursday if there is no big major sports event happening the night before, and maybe every other Friday, or if I get a chance, I'll try and get one out every Friday. So Tuesday, Thursday, and every Friday if I have the chance on Friday. Like I said, thank you for tuning in.